Hello and welcome to this week's special presentation. My name is Jim Penna, Manager of Retirement Services here at VectorVest, and I'm very happy to be hosting this week's topic. Our founder, Dr. Bart DeLito, has created and presented in many different venues a presentation called The 7 Secrets to Making Money with VectorVest. In this presentation, I'm going to focus on the third secret, which is heed the color guard. Here at VectorVest, we believe that market direction is the single most important factor in assessing a stock's likely price direction. And to that end, Dr. D has written that the single most important thing to know is whether the market is going up or down, and that everything follows from that. And the concept is pretty basic. We simply want you to buy rising stocks in rising markets, and we want to be sure not to buy stocks when the market is falling. When we heed the color guard, we are able to do just that. The color guard is a fast, precise system of timing the market. Since VectorVest advocates buying rising stocks in rising markets, you should consult the color guard before you even think about buying any stocks. It provides guidance on when to buy and when not to buy. It does not provide guidance on when to sell. My goal in this presentation is to have you understand just, first of all, how important the color guard is, and just how easy it is to heed the color guard. First, let's take a look at the role the color guard plays in our overall market analysis. A couple of weeks ago, the special presentation was given by Dr. D called How the Market Works, and it talked about the important factors of earnings, interest, and inflation, and how that accounts for our bull and bear market scenarios. Let's start by going into the views, and on any Friday evening, we're able to take a look at our climate section by clicking all and going right to the climate tab. And here we'll get the weekly summary of earnings, interest, and inflation, and it will tell us what bull market or bear market scenario that we are currently in. If we scroll down, we have our current data for the climate analysis. We look at inflation, interest rates, and earnings. It's important to note that the stock market scenarios issue strategic signals. In other words, the scenarios provide an overarching framework in which to make your investment decisions. We also have the ability to go to our market climate graph, where here we can add all of the information we saw from the previous table, the S&P earnings, the VectorVest indicators that give us the trend of those earnings, same thing with inflation and interest rates. So if the climate graphs are the strategic tool that we use, we also then have our market timing graph. And here, if I set it to a 1-year look back, we have what we refer to as our tactical signals. And those include our market timing signals, starting with the confirmed calls, as you can see here, including the primary wave, the DEW, the green light buyer. These are all part of our market timing system and the signals that we provide. And then there's the color guard. We say that the home page of the VectorVest program is designed to read just like your hometown newspaper, where market timing is always the headline. That's why we put it front and center on the home page. If we look at the market timing headline, as of this recording, it says that the color guard is neutral and that VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. We have here our market timing barometer needle, which is currently straight up into the yellow. This needle is based on the price action. We see the major indexes here, but we also see the VectorVest composite price. And that price action is what gives us the headline. Now, from the market timing gauge, down below is where the color guard is located. The color guard is comprised of the important components of price, relative timing, and the buy-sell ratio as they relate to the VectorVest composite. Now, it's easier to understand that if I come over to VectorVest at a glance, you can see that we're currently tracking 8,106 stocks in our database. The VectorVest composite is simply the indexed average price of those stocks, which gives us the composite price, which is currently at $43.93. We use relative timing, or the short-term trend, the same way we would on a stock. We use it on the VectorVest composite itself. On a 0 to 2 scale, it's currently at 0.83, which would tell us overall we are in a downtrend. The next part of the color guard is the buy-to-sell ratio. Each and every day we take those 8,100 stocks and we give them a buy, sell, or hold rating. We simply take the number of buys, we divide it by the number of sells. It gives us that ratio, and it also gives us a good indication of an underlying strength or weakness in the market, currently expressing a a weakness given that the ratio was so low and there are so many sell-rated stocks versus buy-rated stocks. So a very important piece of information. And we finally take price, RT, and buy-sell ratio, and we roll them into one indicator called the MTI, or the market timing indicator, what we also refer to as the underlying trend of the market. And it's also on a 0 to 2 scale. Okay, so when I go back to the color guard, it's here we're able to track these day over day and week over week so that we can recognize short, intermediate, and long-term trends in the market. Now, it's important to understand, again, based on the overall market analysis that we provide, that the color guard is considered the action-oriented part of that. And so when we track the price, RT, and BSR, we're clearly able to see when it's okay and when it's not okay to buy stocks. Now, the trends are identified here under the trend header. That first column reads down. That's the primary trend of the market. Our first look at the overall trend of those 8,100 stocks that we track. The primary trend is currently down. It's down because the price of the VectorVest composite has fallen on a week-over-week basis. Because the composite is lower now than it was 5 trading days ago, the primary trend is down. Whenever that primary trend is down, the color guard headline will read that VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. And we'll look more at that in just a moment. The next column under the trend header also reads down. That's what we call our underlying trend, found here in the color guard. It's down because the MTI is below 1. And then finally our confirm call, which is our most conservative look at the market, which we received back on October 4th, is also down. So all of our market timing signals are down. And because of that, the color guard is telling us it is not okay to buy stocks at this time. Now, with all that said, the color guard simply needs to be regarded as a traffic light. It is a very visual tool. And even though there are formulas that go into all of this information, all you have to know is that when you look at the color guard, and I can see a lot of red lights here over the last 5 or 6 trading days. We currently have yellow lights. The major indexes are all down, even though the VectorVest composite is up slightly today. The signal is clear. The headline is clear. It is not okay to buy stocks at this time. And just like a traffic light, when you come to an intersection, if the light is red, you stop. Right? In this case, that means you do not buy stocks. When the light is yellow, we use caution. And of course, if the light is green, it means it's okay to buy stocks. Now, just an example on that, and something that's very important to consider. Even with the primary trend up, and even with a green light in the price column, we still have to look for follow-through. We still have to be sure that the market is rising when we buy those stocks. And November 7th and 8th are a good example. On November 7th, we closed with a primary trend up, meaning that the market has been up day over day and week over week at that point. Come the morning of the 8th, however, the market actually opened down and continued down from there. And let's go into a graph and we can take a quick look at those days. If I start here on the 7th, again, and if I add the primary trend of the market, it was actually up back on October the 31st. But the key is the follow-through. On November the 1st, the market opened higher and continued to rise, confirming that primary trend, but we would only go in if the market was continuing to rise. The flip side of that is on November the 7th, the market closed at 46.02 and we had a primary trend up and a green light. However, on November the 8th, the market actually opened lower than the previous day's close and continued to trade down from there. So even with the green light, even with the primary trend up, we need that follow through. We need the market rising before we hit the enter button to purchase any stocks. And just a quick note for those who are using end of day, that's very important. You may want to consider intraday or even real time, because the next morning, as we enter in, that intraday, that signal will change from either a primary wave up to down. That green light will disappear as the market continues to fall. And then we finally got the next primary trend down on November the 12th. So using the idea of following through even when the primary trend is up would have kept us from going out and buying stocks on November the 8th, and it would have kept us out of the market over that next stretch of the downturn that we're experiencing. Now, a lot of your entry point into the market is going to be based on your individual investment profile. Right? The more conservative or prudent investor is going to wait for the confirm call or the DEW. That more aggressive investor may look for the primary trend or the green light buyer. Either way, we're still going to heed the color guard, and we're not going to hit the enter button to buy stocks unless the market has that follow through. In this case, having end of day or intraday would have been a clear signal to let us know that the composite was falling and that it was not a good time to buy stocks. The next important thing to remember is that we can find the summary of the color guard each and every night, Monday through Thursday, by clicking on the Views tab. And then on Friday nights, we have our extended newsletter in the Views section. And in the market timing analysis portion each Monday through Thursday, the analysis section will go through and tell us exactly why the color guard lights are the color they are. It's very important information to read through. If I scroll down, it leaves us with a summary section, and it will give us the update, again, of exactly where the color guard scenarios are. It will give us some news on the current day's activity, and then the action part of the color guard is also found here in the view. So it tells us that prudent investors should not buy stocks if the market is falling. That's the current views. What if I take this back to November the 7th? This is the close of the day we had the green light that I just illustrated. The summary was we had one green light and two yellow lights, and the color guard was mildly bullish, with the price of the composite moving higher on a week-to-week basis. With the MTI below 1, that gave us an up-down situation. And here's the guidance that's important. Prudent investors may buy stocks if the market is rising, and that's the key phrase there, even with the green light. Aggressive investors and traders should play the market as it develops with a bias to the upside. Again, the important takeaway there is the follow-through. Play the market as it develops. The views section will also give you our Derby winners and give you a sense of what searches are successful over the last 1 or 5 trading days in the views. And also important to note that right here on the home page, every Monday through Thursday, we have the daily color guard report. You can either click the watch video button here, or it will just say daily color guard report here, and you can actually get the recording each evening where we will actually walk through the daily color guard report and the views for you for your convenience. So take advantage of the daily color guard report every Monday through Thursday, and then on every Friday we have our special presentation along with timing the market, and that's an overview for the entire week. So we urge you to take advantage of that. What we also have in the view section, I strongly urge you to go over to special reports. You can click the special reports tab, and right here is a special report written by Dr. DeLito on the daily color guard. So it gives a bit of a history. I won't go through each and every point here, but I just want to point out some of the important pieces of information in this special report. We've got our rules for a confirmed up signal. You can walk through those rules there. This is an important part. The color code, how we get a green light. What are the rules for a red light or a yellow light in the price column? Rules for the RT of the VectorVest composite happen to be the same as the rules for the buy-sell ratio, again, as it relates to what color the light is on any given night in the color guard. The market trend analysis. It's important to recognize that each of the indicators cited above serve a very specific purpose. You can scroll through there and read through the exact purpose of each of those indicators. Another very important portion of the special report tells us the market trend reports. And again, it gives us that actionable information, an up, down, and up, down. We're going to describe exactly what those mean here in the special report. And then, as I noted, the color guard commentary, or the timing analysis, again, every Monday through Thursday in the daily views, and then in the extended newsletter on Friday. And here was an example of how that read when we actually went to the views. And maybe the most important part, again, is how do we use the color guard system? And this is an important table. If we scroll down, it gives us the light setup in the column, whether anywhere from 3 green to 3 red and everything in between. It'll give us the trends that those lights represent, the meaning behind that, and then again, the actionable information on what to do. 3 green lights, it's okay to buy. 3 yellow lights. As long as the primary trend is up, we can buy but use caution. And then, as I noted earlier, any time that the primary trend is down, the action is going to read do not buy. So remember, when it's okay to buy, we still need the follow through. And when it's not okay to buy, what we don't want to do is try to outthink the color guard, search for that bottom, or think we know that it's okay to buy stocks when the color guard is clearly telling us not to. So again, by clicking on Views, going to Special Reports, you can open this up, print it off if you'd like. Keep it by your computer. Extremely important information when it comes to understanding the concept of when to buy and when not to buy. So just to summarize, with all that information in hand, again, remember it's a visual tool. We currently have red lights in the price column 3 of the last 6 trading days. We have no green lights. All of our indicators are down. The color guard headline reads that VectorVest does not advocate buying any stocks at this time. And finally, if you would like to learn more about the 7 secrets to making money with VectorVest, or more on the color guard and our market timing indicators in general, I urge you to go to VectorVest.com/library. And that will bring you to our Black Friday and Cyber Monday specials. We do have our 2-day investment seminar coming up in Tampa the first week of January. We will be presenting the 7 secrets to making money with VectorVest, among some other great topics. Remember, this is the first week of January in Tampa. If you cannot attend, we are live streaming this, and you will have access to that recording for 1 full year after the seminar. So go ahead and go to VectorVest.com/library for our Black Friday and Cyber Monday specials. And so remember, the steps to heeding the color guard are as simple as following the rules of a traffic light. So before you hit the enter button to buy any stock, please heed the color guard.